Hello, my name is Tinne, I'm head of design of VectoriaDesigns, and as you may have seen in the other video, we have another crafting kit for you, especially for the fans of the Zodiac and all things mystical, the really cleverly named Mystical Zodiac Crafting Printables Kit. In this video, I'm going to show you how to craft the journal, the envelope book and the moving card with the printables of this kit. If you would like to discover this Mystical Zodiac kit in our shop, the link is below. And if you would like to see first what is exactly in this kit, there's a link to that video as well. Warning, you may see parts of the tutorial made with printables from another kit that is not available yet. It depends on when you see this video. That is because both kits have the same model and the same tutorial, and I wanted to be super economical with my time. The other kit is named the Librarian's Office Crafting Printables Kit and will be available later this year. Or if you see this video later this year, it will already be available. So viewers who now say, I want that! Little bit of patience, my dears. So parts of this tutorial will be made with the Mystical Zodiac kit and other parts will be made with the Librarian's Office kit. I will, however, show the end results of all the crafts made with the printables of the Mystical Zodiac kit. Now you may ask, can't I make any other journals and crafts with this kit? Of course you can. There are 24 journal pages in there, 20 sheets filled with embellishments, 15 full papers and a lot more, of course. So now that I've warned you about using different kits in this tutorial, let's start crafting. So let me show you how to make the cover of the journal. I am going to make a 725-inch journal and that's why I chose these two covers and I chose these two inside covers. And for this size journal you also need some pieces of cardboard. And these are 7¼ inch high and 5 inches wide. Both the front and the back, and then the spine is also 7¼ inch high and 1 inch wide. And then we also need a piece of cardboard. We will need it later, but I thought I will give you the size already if you want to cut it already. This piece can also be cut out of lighter cardboard for sure. This is 1mm thick cardboard. And this is also 7¼ inch high and 7/8 inch wide. Okay, but I can't do anything with this if these are not cut out yet. So that's the first thing I'm gonna do. I'm gonna cut these out. So these are cut out. There's a little bit of white here left, but we're never gonna see that again, so that's okay. So, and the first thing I'm gonna do is put these aside, wrap the outer covers with this paper. Obviously, you can use any paper that you like for this. Yep, and normally, if you print it right, you have like a bit left over in all the corners. And I'm going to start with putting double-sided tape all over the edges, all along the edges I mean. And again, add the adhesive as you like. If you want to use only glue, go ahead. If you want to use only tape, go ahead. You have like this very white tape nowadays. I just like to use a combination of both. Very basic how I'm doing this. I'm now removing the backings. Adding some glue in the center. You can use wet glue, tacky glue, I mean, glue stick like I'm doing. This is a very heavy duty glue stick. So, and make sure you put it straight if you have a pattern like this or a design like this, I mean. There. And actually, before I start folding the paper over, I'm going to cut off a little bit because I made them this big, so we have room if you would like to use like very thick cardboard, like 2mm. It would work as well. But my cardboard is only 1mm thick, so I only need 1mm next to the corner. So I'm cutting these off and then I'm going to pre-fold these tabs. Then I'm going to use some tape all along. You can definitely use, yeah, I made the tabs as wide as that you can use just 3/8 of an inch or 9mm tape. You can definitely just use your glue. Some people find it easier to just quickly glue. As long as it sticks, people, just needs to stick, that's all. Okay. When you use tape, always make sure it bonds. And then remove the backings again. Put a little bit of extra glue here. And I'm gonna start with the long ones. Yeah. Fold them over. Also make sure the sides don't have air gaps in there. Just really pull the paper. This. And then again, like this. So, and then we have a very nice cover, like this. And I'm going to do exactly the same with the back cover. So my outside covers are covered. And now I'm going to attach them to the spine. Just gonna leave it like that because I'm just going to use my packing tape. This is just paper tape, very, very sticky. I'm gonna take a piece that is more than twice the height. So this is a piece of tape that is more than twice the height. I'm going to trim it again later. But I'd rather do it like this. So first I'm going to position this very, very straight in the center. That's not good. Be very careful about this because this is going to determine whether your book looks straight or not. I'm not very good at this, but I'm trying. I'm trying to eyeball it. If you're really not certain, measure. Okay, this is on. Now I'm gonna take another piece of cardboard. It's also 1mm thick. I'm gonna position it right next to this piece, and then I'm going to turn around, position this right next to the cardboard, so there will be a 1mm gap approximately. Make sure top and bottom are aligned. There we go. And do the exact same thing on the other side. Make sure they're both facing the right way. So I'm gonna check. Okay, my front cover is like this, that my other cover is like this as well. So I'm gonna position this cardboard right here, right next to it. Right next to the cardboard, and then position this right next to that piece. And make sure it's all aligned. Get rid of this and then check again. Yes, all right. Everything sticks. Okay, then I'm going to pull this down. And glue like this. And see, I have way too much left here, so I'm gonna cut some off. Oops, I cut off too much. I've done that before. I will do it again. So this. No harm done. Before I really stick it down, I'm gonna take a little piece to cover up that little piece here. There. Hardly no one will see it. I love that. It's like a crafter's secret. Okay, and then really make sure to go into those gaps with your bone folder. And make sure it sticks. Turn around and do exactly the same. Like this. So, and there we go. We have our cover. Now, if you would like to add like a label holder or ribbons, now is the time to do so. I'm going to close this journal in another way. So I don't need to do this right now. But as I said, if you like to use ribbons or add stuff that needs to pierce the front cover or the back cover, now is really the time to do so. Because the next thing I'm going to do is apply the inner covers. And for that, I'm going to add some ink. Just going to use the Vintage Photo Distress ink here. Use any color that you like. I just like to define the edges a little bit. Make them a bit more old worldly. There. So, apply these however you want. I have to see that the text is not upside down. Yeah, they're like this. And you can use glue, wet glue, tape. I'm just going to do what I always do because I'm used to it and it's fast and the edges are very clean, and that is just put some tape along the edges and a quick glue in the center. Yeah, applying like ink in on the edges really makes a difference, so I really like to do that. Oh, let me apply this one first, and then later on I can do the second one off screen, so I don't waste your time. There. Okay, check again if the text is not upside down. I'm gonna leave like an 1/8 of an inch border on the top, side and bottom. Okay, there. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side. So this is the cover now, front and back. And I'm going to do exactly the same with a kit that has not come out when I'm filming this, so you will have to wait a little while more to get this, but I'm going to do exactly the same with these. So this is the Librarian's office kit, or a few printables from that. And because the model is the same, I'm going to intertwine these in one big giant tutorial, but instead of the 725-inch cover, I'm going to make a small cover, the really cute cover. This is going to be a very cute small journal. And for that I have these 3 cute pieces of cardboard. All 3 pieces are 5-inch high, and these 2 large ones are 3 3/4 of an inch wide, and the center one is 1 inch wide as well. And in the future you will need a 7/8 of an inch wide as well. So I'm magically going to turn this into this. Here is the cover that I made for the little tiny cute library journal. I didn't add the inner covers yet because I'm gonna actually use ribbons this time, and I'm quickly going to show you how I do that. It's very easy. I have here like 2 ribbons here. There are 12 inches long, and if they're too long you can still get some off, obviously, but if they're too short, yeah, I have a problem. So I'm gonna use about 2 inches. First I'm gonna put this away. Measure. So I'm gonna measure the center, and the center is 5 inches, so 2.5. Here as well, the center. There. Okay, so now I am going to apply this tape, and I'm gonna make sure the tape doesn't cover the outer 1/8 of an inch here, because that won't be covered by the inner cover. Otherwise we have this this really sticky edge, and we don't want that, or I don't want that. I don't know about you guys. So I'm gonna put this here. I'm gonna do the same on the other side, about 2 inches. There. Make sure it sticks. Remove the backings, and then I'm just going to glue this on here. There. On both sides. This. It's okay if you don't cover the double-sided tape completely, because now we're going to put these in, and preferably even not upside down. Before I'm going to do that, I'm going to ink the edges again. And I'm going to apply these the same way into the cover. Make sure your cover isn't upside. Yeah. See, if I would have put it like this, it would be upside down. So make sure your cover is not upside down. And then glue in the inner covers and make sure there's an 1/8 of an inch all around again. There we go. And I'm gonna do the same on the other side. There, and it's ready. Our cover is ready, and now I have 2 covers for 2 projects. The Mystical Zodiac cover and the Librarian's Office cover. Yay! And now it is time for these small 7/8 of an inch wide pieces that we are going to prepare so we can attach the journal pages to these. So this is the one that we're gonna need. I'm going to staple them on. So for the Zodiac one, so this one, the larger one, I printed the 7/25 inch staple spine. It's T21. And for the Librarian's Office, I printed the small one, so for the 5-inch journal. And let me show you with this one. Now, you can definitely just wrap this with tape or with other paper and measure out where the holes should be. Definitely also an option, so you don't have to print this. But I wanted to. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut this out, and I'm also going to cut this out already for the envelope book that I'm going to show you later. So I cut this out, and I'm going to first lightly punch these holes, because later on, just lightly, we won't see them again. Because I want these printed lines on the back, so the lines won't be visible. And now I'm going to put double-sided tape all over the cardboard. Or glue again. Or glue again. It's what you prefer. So because my tape is not small or big enough to fill the whole cardboard, I'm gonna do the outer sides first. Remove the backing and apply another layer on top in the center. Or you can put a dab of glue in the center, all possible. There. Then I'm going to glue this with the sticky side, obviously, in this square. There. Yeah, and this is where it's very, very important that you first check if your printer prints the right sizes. Like, for example, I need to print on 100.6% to have the exact measurements. There. And if it's too way off, I would suggest to just wrap it with paper and measure where the holes will come. Okay, I'm going to pre-fold these edges again. I'm just gonna wrap it like I wrap the covers. And on these small thingies, I'm just going to use some glue. There. Put some glue in this corner as well. And just wrap it. Yeah. And now some glue here. Yeah, with glue I have to hold it a bit longer, a few seconds to really get it bond. That's why I love type so much. It's like, it's down, it sticks, done. Glue is more versatile. I mean, with glue you have some time to shuffle everything where it should be. So that's a pro, but you also need some time to get it bonded. So, yep, there we go. And now I can still lightly see the holes, and now I'm going to punch all the way through the cardboard. There we go. And now I'm going to use a pencil and a ruler to connect these lines. I'm going to erase them later, so it's very important to not make too harsh of a line. There. And then I know where the second hole for the staple will be. And now I need a staple as a template to see where it should go. So I have some staples here. I'm gonna take one. There. This thing literally saves my fingers and my non-existent nails. So I really love it. Okay, and now, yeah, my punch thingy back. And now I'm just going to use the staple as a template to see on the line that I just drew where the second hole should come. Let me see, maybe this is clearer for you. Like this. Here. Here. And here. Yes, if you use tape, your whole end will become sticky, so clean it up if necessary. So I'm gonna do the same here. So the second hole will be more to the center. Here, here, and here. Yeah, I think my staples are exactly 1/2 inch. Yep, but I don't know about other staples, so maybe there's a standard. Okay, and now I'm going to erase these lines. Not that they will be super visible because the signatures will be stapled on there, but still, yeah, I like things really neat. And I'm going to do exactly the same with the small one for the small Librarian cute one. Yeah, for the small one, I actually think I'm gonna go out with my second hole because otherwise it's like really small. So I made the lines in the center a little bit longer, and I'm going to go out and not towards the center, otherwise they're really, really close. It would not be a problem at all, but I think this is better. So just finding the extra holes. Yes, this is a lot better balanced right now. Okay. So I show you now how to make the smallest one and the 725-inch one, and the largest one is actually exactly the same. Yeah. And now we need some journal pages to put in here. You can use any type of paper that you like, coffee dyed paper, tea dyed paper, regular paper, color paper, but I really like to use beautiful pages that are in our kit. And I printed them all, so you don't have to print them all. You can mix and match them with other types of papers to put in the journal as well, obviously. But I'm just going to use all hours. And what I did was I printed all of them, all 24 of them, at 100% on one side, and then I switched them around a little bit and I printed them at 102% on the back. This means when I cut these out, I won't have a white border, because most printers shift a bit, even the most professional ones. It's just, yeah, it's just what is. And if you have one that prints perfectly, savor it, take care of it, and enjoy it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut all these out. If you're making the largest journal, you don't have to cut anything out because the whole page will be filled. That is if your printer can print borderless. Very important, otherwise you will still have a small margin at all sides. Okay, so I'm going to print these out on the side that is the 100% print, obviously. If you forget, hey, which side did I print 100% and which side did I print 102%, we'll just hold it up to the light and you will see. And you can see through here that the one on the other side is bigger. So I cut out all the journal pages. I'm very happy with it. If you cut a few pages at the same time and you happen to have like a super small edge, ink does the trick to hide it. And now, since I have 24 sheets, by the way, I printed this on regular paper, so that is 80 grams. So just the normal stuff, the normal white paper that you put in your printer to print a letter. Okay, so I'm going to make 3 piles of 8 sheets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I want this on the outside. 6. Yeah, I see a few have some white edges. I'm going to tackle these later. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nice. And so make 3 piles like this. By the way, for those who are really into astrology stuff and want things to work, there are 6 of these double sheets, and each half is dedicated to one of the signs. So this is for Scorpio, Leo, Virgo, Libra, etc, etc. And even if you print them back to back and you place them on top of each other, you will get the exact order. So I just wanted to give that with you. So that's definitely a possibility as well. I have now 3 piles of 8 sheets each, and I'm going to fold these in half. Like this. And I'm quickly going to add a little bit of ink, not too much, and just quickly check if some of these pages need some extra ink. Just the edges. By the way, I'm not going to do that now, but you can definitely trim these edges so they're nice and flush with a heavy-duty craft knife. But you can also distress them, the edges. If you like a really distressed look, you can definitely do that. And then afterwards, because it's going to be a bit white, afterwards you can just still go in there with your ink. So I have my 3 signatures ready and it's time to punch some holes in there. And I'm just going to do it quickly and use this as a template. Now the template is a little bit larger. I mean, the spine is a bit larger on both sides than the signatures, but I'm just going to make sure they're positioned right there. And yeah. I'm gonna do that with all 3 signatures. Bind them together with a clip if you think they slip. And now that I've punched all the holes, I'm going to attach each signature to the inner spine. Take a staple. And go inside out through the holes that you just made. There, and then choose a row. I'm going to start with this one. Put through the holes and then use something like a metal ruler or something else. Best not your nails, I guess, to bend the prongs of these staples. And do that on the other side as well. So, and then, very important for the movement of the book, close the signature and feel where it naturally will bend and make it extra crisp. Do that to both sides. There. So, and do the exact same with the other 2 signatures. So I attached all 3 signatures to this inner spine. And I'm going to do exactly the same with the cute such cute journal pages for the librarian's office small journal as well. So this is what they in both sides look like, the inner spine with the signatures. I don't know if I've said it, but crafters who'd rather use needle and thread to sew in their signatures, for that there are templates in the kit as well. So now just need to get this in here, and preferably the right side up. And for that, let me show you with the big one. I'm going to put double-sided tape all over the back side here. And I'm going to use some glue as well, just to make sure it sticks, it doesn't come loose. I like to use tape here as well, just to cover these metal prongs from the staples, so that they don't damage the cover too much. Maybe I'm too careful. That's very possible. Okay. Make sure that really stick. Yeah, I can only fit 2 on here. But I'm gonna put 1 on top. Or at least where these staples are. There. It's okay, this can stay like this. It won't stick less in 5 minutes. And then I'm going to put some tacky glue here, the spine. regular viewers know, I have put like a super small hole in the top. You have to cut it off yourself, you know. And I still haven't corrected it, but it's sometimes so easy. It's easier to spread out, but yeah, it's a bit more work to apply it. There. Happy with that. And now, triple check if everything's the right side up. And then glue this in the center. Like this. Okay. I'm gonna hold it a little while. Then I'm gonna open it in the center of the middle signatures. And I'm going to use my trusty Lord of the Rings to make sure it will stick. Okay, put this aside, and I'm going to do exactly the same with this one. So, and this is what they look like when they are ready. And now let me show you how to make the envelope books. So I cut out all the pieces for the large envelopes, and I will attach them to each other in a moment. And I also cut out this these tabs, this hinge piece. And I'm gonna start with this first. They need to be scored extremely precise. Now the thing is with printing, it's not always completely accurate. And I already see if I align this line, the last one is a little bit out of whack. Now, if you think, hey, that's too much work, just take a card this size and just use the lines on your scoreboard. It's okay, it's just half an inch, quarter, quarter, eight, quarter, quarter, eight, quarter, quarter, eight, etc., etc. But I have these lines as well for people who don't have a scoreboard, and then they can line up their ruler with the line that's already on there. Now I'm going to use my scoreboard with this one, and the only thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check if it's still aligned with one of the slots in this scoreboard. So I'm gonna reposition it a few times just to get it clear. So there's a few ways to do this. The first ones are actually pretty accurate, so I can keep it. There, now I'm gonna reposition it so I have a few accurate ones again. Yeah, reposition again. Yeah, I saw somewhere on YouTube to have use a Sharpie to make a dark line in the center or somewhere else. It really helps. It's a really good trick. There we go. So, and now I'm going to add some tape. This is small tape, 1/4 inch, 6mm. And now we see we always have a pair of two 1/4 inch, 6mm pieces. And I'm going to attach tape to every time one of them. So one of these here, one of these here, and we need 6 of these. So it doesn't matter on which of the two you apply this tape. I'm just going to do the top one every time. It really doesn't matter. So I have tape on this one. I'm gonna leave this blank, and then the next 1/4 inch piece, gonna add a piece of tape again, and not on the next one. There. So I have 6 pieces here. Yeah, and I do this before folding. It's just a little bit easier. Okay, and then I'm going to fold all these. I'm going to make sure this is the top. I always like the printed lines on the bottom so you won't see them. And the folding is actually pretty handy. So the first one, it doesn't matter on which side you start, it's just the same. So I'm gonna start with the first one. Now, the folding should be super precise, so check your lines every time. So, yeah. The first one is a valley fold. So, see, it makes a valley. And a mountain fold will be like this. This is a valley fold. And it lines up perfectly here. And the next one is going to be a mountain fold. Check if it's all right. It is. And then now always 2 valleys and a mountain. Actually, it's always after the first valley, mountain, valley, valley, mountain, valley, valley, mountain, valley, valley. So now it's always 1 mountain, 2 valleys. So I'm gonna do that and make the folds extra crisp with my bone folder. And another valley. This is going to be, this one is going a little bit off course, so I'm gonna manipulate it so it's crisper. Yeah, so I have my mountain and 2 valleys, back a mountain, again a mountain I mean. So this was a mountain and now back to 2 valleys. And repeat that until the end of the card. This is good. Yeah, perfect. Another valley. Mountain. Keep checking if the lines are still crisp and you're not going off course. Don't be tempted with your scoreboard to push too hard because you might rip through the paper. So, and when this whole thing has been folded very neatly, you can remove the tabs, I mean the backs, not the tabs, the backs, and glue those mountains there. So glue the 1/4" piece with the tape to the piece without the tape, like this. And you will end up with a piece like this. Yes, it will curl up a little bit, that's okay. I went a little bit, of course, here in the bottom, but it's only on one, so that'll probably be okay. Okay, and now fold them to both sides, just to train those tabs, so they will fold very well later. Be careful though. And then they will become very supple. Okay, and I'm going to apply tape all over this back, and I'm going to apply glue in here, and then I am just going to glue this in like this. Yes, you can definitely glue in the inner covers later, that it will cover this for sure. Okay, I'm gonna take a bit wider tape. There. Then remove the backings. I'm really trying not to get stuck to this thingy. Okay, so I'm gonna leave it like this because I want it handy. I don't want to add glue and then still have to remove the backings, that's why. Okay, now I'm going to add glue in the center. Actually, it would be smarter to attach the inside covers after you've added this. That would actually be smarter, but it's okay. Can I? No, I'm not going to take it out. It's glued in very, very sturdy. Okay, I'm gonna quickly check how far it'll come. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more here as well. Yeah. Whoever is going to craft this, please glue in the inside covers later. I didn't put glue on the full top end or the full bottom. And now I'm going to apply this so the tabs will be as centered as possible. Yep. And yep, I'm happy with this. There. If some glue leaks out, it should dry clear, so that's not a problem at all. But try to prevent it, obviously. Okay. Also, already going to go in there, in the gap here, with my bone folder, but don't press too hard. And I'm going to try to close this cover. Do that while it's still wet-y. So don't do that after it's completely dry. That's very important, because then you might tear some paper. And we don't want to tear any paper after it's been, after all the hard work, you know? That's not what we're doing. Okay. So, okay. So this has been trained, this has been trained. And now I'm going to put a book on top, actually. So I'm gonna fold the hinges in half out. And my other journal is ready, so I'm going to put this book on top to let it dry. In the meantime, let me show you how to assemble these large envelopes. So there's two parts, and I already added some ink to the edges, and then it's time to score some lines. Now, the first line for the small envelope is from that corner to this corner, like this. You can already fold it. And then the big part is from that corner to there, there to there, and there to there. We start with the large one. This is going to be the flap. And then here to here. The other side as well. There. And then fold these in as well. Okay, and then let me put this aside for a bit. Oh yes, very important. If you don't like the inside of your envelope to be the stark white, you can always print one of these full sheets on the back or an old paper that you find on the internet, and it will look a lot more old. To be honest, I just forgot it. So, some tape on the printed side. Remove it, and then I like to place it like this and just glue this part on top. Like this. There. And now you can close the envelope like this. And to glue it shut, I like to add some markings right under the flap when it's closed with my pencil, and then I know if I keep with my glue inside that patch, I won't have any stickiness outside. So I'm pretty sure this is perfect, and indeed no stickiness, and the envelope can close like this. I am not going to add a closure here, but you can definitely do that if you like, or close it with a seal. If you like people to only open the envelope at a certain date or something, you can definitely do that. What I am going to do is ink these folds as well, just to add to the oldness, like this. And do that with all your envelopes, all 6 of them. And for the smaller one, so I'm also making one for the Zodiac. It's very simple. It's already 1 envelope. Just score here. Now take care, because the design has a bit of a line. Don't score there. It's a design feature, but it can be a little bit hard to make the scores right. You should score like right next to it from corner to corner, you see? And then you have like, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch or a millimeter extra space around. Or that's how it should be, yeah, here. So take care if you use the smallest ones that you don't score along those shadow lines. Then fold it. It's gonna be like this. See, you have a line around. Okay, first I'm going to add a little bit of ink all around. Ink. And later on, when I've glued it, also the folds. There. I'm first going to glue it. Just the same. Some marks right under the bottom flap when it's closed. And then you can quickly add a little bit of glue. Or tape, sure, in that area, and it will close, and you won't feel anything sticky because the glue is inside that area, like this. And then some more ink if you like that. There. And this is how to make the very small envelopes. While this was drying, a little accident happens. You see the tear here. I thought this could only happen in funny movies or something, but this is what happened. So this was nicely drying on a table with the book on top. And when I came in to vacuum, I knocked over the book with this. It fell on the floor and the vacuum cleaner sucked this up and tore it right out of the cover. Yes, that happened. What I can do now is rip this out carefully and replace it with another one. It's actually this way up because it's the front one. But I don't want to do that. Also, then it would be kind of hard to get this under here again. So what I'm going to do is, well, the tape's still under there, so it kind of glued itself shut again. I'm going to add a little bit of glue just to glue these pieces back. Then I'm gonna glue this back on top, and then I cut this out of one of the embellishment pages. I'm just going to secure it like this. I'm gonna make sure this is secure really good, because actually I'm gonna put it right to the edge, because otherwise I've a chance to tear it out again. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. This is how you can save stuff, even if your vacuum cleaner decides to go wrecking all your crafting projects. Okay, so again, some tape to secure the ribbon. The ribbon on top here, and then yeah, normally I would put this in the center, but now because I really want to secure this ribbon, I am going to put it here. There. There, fixed. Okay, so now this is dry in the center, and I'm going to carefully get these up again. Bend these in the other direction. and the other ones as well. There, and then they will stand up kind of, and that's okay. Let me check if this is okay. Yep, just strain it a little bit. This as well, train it a little bit. There. So, and now I have my beautiful envelopes, and I'm going to attach them to these tabs. And I have a book full of envelopes that I can put letters in and more. Everything that's flat actually, and there's so many possibilities here. Now, you can attach your envelope like this. That's how I'm going to do it. But you can do it like this as well. Or even on the flap, like this. No, I wouldn't do it like that. I would do it like this then. So there are so many possibilities. But I'm just going to do it like this, and then on the back it opens. And for that, since these are really small tabs, if you think the tabs are too small, you can definitely recreate this, but make the tabs just a little bit bigger. To think of the sizes, etc. So I'm going to add some small tape. This is a 1/4 inch tape to the front of each tab. And I'm actually going to go back and forth, a bit easier, I think. Not sure, I think that. And yep, choose your images. So, going to remove the back. You can definitely do this with glue as well, but you will have to hold it until it really sticks. And glue the envelopes next to the fold, not in the fold, so this way they will move a bit better. And obviously also apply the tape next to the fold, not on the fold or in the fold. So like this, the first one is in. Second one, also you can choose to have the sticky side on the back of the tab instead of the front. These are all choices that you can make, but they don't have a significant difference. So, and this is what it looks like when it is finished. The whole book with envelopes, and anything that fits in an envelope you can put in there. Letters, cards, money, if you give this as a gift, or even like clues for a scavenger hunt in a library, for example. And when someone's birthday comes up, you can actually add a date to each of these envelopes, and the week before they can every day open one of these envelopes. You can seal them, etc. with wax seals. You can do anything, and just a really, really nice booklet. So closes like this. And what a beautiful booklet or gift. Amazing. Now, we also have some writing papers included in this kit. There are a bunch of designs here, and you can just print them on one side or on two sides and just fold them in half, and they will fit in the envelope. So I showed you how to create the Librarian's Office envelope book, and I did exactly the same with the mystery Zodiac printables, only a size smaller. This is a really, really tiny, cute one. And now you can also do this, make such an envelope book with the 875-inch cover. Now you think, okay, these envelopes already came out on 2 separate sheets because they were so large. How are you going to do that with a book that's even bigger? Well, change it up a little bit. So this is the template for the 875-inch cover envelope book. And hey, doesn't that seem smaller? Yes! But I thought of something different. So there are also these tabs available for this one, but there's a line in the center. You can make 2 small ones if you like. And then you can add one of the tabs on top of the book and one of the tabs in the bottom half of the book. And these envelopes, don't put them in like this in your book, because then your cover will be way too large, but glue them into the tabs horizontally. That's what the tabs are made for. So then you will have 2 rows of 6 envelopes each, and this way you can add 12 envelopes in there. So the only trick is to glue them in sideways, so in the landscape horizontal way, and not in the vertical way as we have been doing in these 2. That's the trick. So now let me show you how to make a moving card. It comes in 3 parts. The actual card comes in 2 parts, and there are 4 designs. And if you like, you can use this part from this design and this part from another design. You can mix them as you like. And the 3rd part is actually the envelope, because this is going to be a bit boxy. This is going to be a box envelope that will hold this card perfectly. So I'm going to put this aside for a bit, because I'm going to start with the card itself. And the first thing I'm going to do is obviously cut all these pieces out. And the first thing I'm going to do is fortify this bottom piece like this. I cut a piece of paper out of very sturdy paper. This is 300 grams. This is super heavy. You can even use light cardboard, not thick. It should be like super slim, but sturdy. And I'm going to attach this on this bottom piece. So we have this T-shaped piece here with the little thingies. The little thingies don't need to be fortified. It's this basic thingy that should be fortified. So I'm going to attach it on there, and it's probably going to be a bit too large. The excess I will trim off. I actually just put it on paper and traced around. If you don't fortify this is print on 160 grams paper, it will be ruined instantly. And this should be super, super sturdy. Just warning you, don't skip this step at all. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add double-sided tape on this T-shape. Oops. And some glue. Yeah, some glue first in the center. And then put this on top. There, and we're gonna check. Yeah, I have to just trim off a little bit of this side. That's it. That's not even a problem if you don't. If it's not too much. But hey, this bit on this side as well. So this bottom piece is now fortified. Actually, if you like, you can perhaps do even another layer on the other side, because this is the piece that the plastic will turn around. And if this is not sturdy, yeah, it will collapse soon, and you have like 2 times fun with the card and it's broken. Okay, so yeah, the cards can go to the side for a bit, and now I'm going to score these lines. So there are 2 lines here, so this is the cover, 2 here and 2 here, and I'm going to score them super neatly. So very important to do this as perfectly as you can. And the lines are just 1/8 of an inch apart. If you by accident printed it a little bit smaller and the lines don't work with your scoreboard, they don't agree, then remove it. Don't try to make it an 1/8 of an inch gap while the lines are closer to each other. So just make sure the lines on the paper are scored. There. And now I'm going to perfectly fold these crisp but gently. And then we're going to attach these to each other. And I'm going to put some tape on the non-printed side of this tab here. Very important. Most of the time we put tape on the printed side. Now we put tape on the non-printed side. And then I'm going to just put a little bit of glue. Uh-oh. Need a new stick in this corner here. Oh, forgot to fold these. Gonna quickly do that. There. And then glue this tab to the widest part of this white inside thingy. And make sure if it's the folds all go inward. That's very important. Yeah, I'm going to do it like this, so I can put it right next to the fold. Yeah. It's best to check more than check not enough. Like this. There, and now it's connected like this. And if this is fold, we won't see a white edge here, so that's why. So, and now this all folds inward, and that is what the card is going to look like in the end. So I have a 1-inch circle punch here. You can definitely use a smaller circle punch or bigger ones, or just cut out a notch yourself by hand. And I'm going to make sure the design is like this, so face the right way, and I'm going to make a notch here. And I'm gonna turn it around just to measure where the center is between the scoring lines, and that is right here. Yeah, I'm just going to punch out half a circle here. I'm gonna turn my punch around so I can actually see where I'm punching. There. And now I'm going to ink all the edges, because otherwise the side will be super white. The only thing you don't have to ink is this T shape here. You won't see any of it, the small part I mean. And the rest, just give it a coat of ink. Look, you can go as light as you want. If you're not a fan of ink, you can use a light color that will hardly show, but then this will still not be white, these edges. I mean, the sides of the paper, I mean. And that will still be better, I think, honestly, than having these white edges everywhere. There. And it's possible that I'm going to go in and ink the fold, but I'm not sure yet. Maybe I won't. And now I have some old plastic here. I cut a piece of plastic that is a bit less high than this bottom part, but a bit longer than twice the length. And make sure the plastic that you're using is strong but flexible and very smooth. This was from an old slipcover. Don't go using new sheet. I mean, there's so much of this plastic around that you can repurpose for these types of things that you normally throw away, especially in packaging. If you go to IKEA, a lot of the packaging is this sturdy plastic as well. So we are all using way too much plastic anyway. For this, please reuse something old that you already have. It doesn't have to be super neat, so I'm going to measure with my scissors. That's a little bit smaller than the height of this T-shape, and I'm going to cut a long strip. And it's okay if you go wonky, definitely. You won't see this part, just keep it as wide as possible. I'm not even gonna measure it, like really. Okay, now this is okay. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. There. That's good enough for me. Okay, this is too long, but I'm gonna definitely cut the part off. Now I'm going to wrap it around this bottom part, the fortified bottom part, like this, and close it. And I'm gonna close this with double-sided tape. So just going to put a piece on the edge here. Take care, plastic doesn't work like paper. It's less handy to work with, but it works. Okay, I'm gonna remove this backing here. Gonna place it to almost to the side. This. And I'm gonna close it. Make sure it's tight, but not too tight, that it can still move, you know? That's the big idea, that it's still able to move. Better actually less tight than too tight, to be honest. Just don't see that there's an inch of plastic extra floating around in there. That's not necessary. Okay, so we have this. Slide the tape so that it's about 1/2 inch from the left side, because this piece will probably move up till here or something. And that's going to go really well, like this. But it doesn't go well if it has to go across a quarter. So if we have our tape piece here, we do not need to have it cross this edge. And now I'm going to put another piece of tape on top, there, because this is where I'm going to attach my first card later. And now I'm going to flip over this whole piece horizontally. And I'm also going to do another piece of tape here, also on the left, about here. Here, there. And now it's ready to attach the cards. But before that, we need to make the cards first. So I'm gonna show you that. We have 2 cards here. It's very simple. We're going to score the middle line, fold them in half, and glue them shut. First, I am going to score the center line. Fold in half. And now you can add some tape or glue on one side, on the inside, and just close them. And then if they're a little bit wonky, say this score line didn't go very well, for example, you can still trim it when it's closed, so don't worry about that. You can definitely use only glue. Gone. It doesn't, yeah, there's like almost nothing left. I can hardly get it out. I don't think I have a spare yet. Okay, and then close it like this. You can see it's a little bit crooked here, so I'm gonna take my scissors, or you can use your trimmer for sure, if you have a guillotine one. And check on both sides. Well, actually this side won't show, but okay. The sides that are not on the fold won't show anyway. So, okay, and then ink the edges. So you don't see the white anymore. Actually, the sides are okay. If you want to do the top part as well, you can definitely do that. But that's not necessary. And now I'm going to do exactly the same with this card. So now we have our both cards and it's time to attach these to our thingy here, to our card cover. Okay, so on our two cards, we have one has pull on the top and one has pull on the bottom. That's for a reason. And both pulls, the text is on the side that's fold. Now, this one with the pull on the top, we're going to attach here. So the design is facing upward and we're going to make sure the word pull is on the right. So I'm going to remove this backing and I'm going to make sure this card is next to that folding line here, so not on it. And the sides are the same as the sides of the card. And when you're sure, yeah, glue it. So the card is now glued to this part of the plastic. And now I'm going to flip this over horizontally. I'm going to make sure the word pull is again on the right, but I'm going to flip it upside down so that those words will be at the same sign. They will both show. So I'm going to show you again. Pull is on the right. I'm going to flip it over horizontally. I'm going to still make sure the other card pull is also on the right, but I'm going to flip it over like this. Okay, I'm going to remove this backing. And again, place this card next to the fold on top and the sides, the same sides as the card. And there we go. And now if we wrap up our whole card and we pull this card on the bottom, it should come out. See? Okay, great. I forgot to press record when I close this thing up. But I'm going to tell you, when you're absolutely sure that everything works when you have it wrapped up, put double-sided tape and glue on the whole last piece of this design, just the last flap. You close it up again and then it will work like this. And on these two, you can actually write a message. And oh yeah, and the back is very pretty as well. And now I'm going to show you how to make the envelope. And the first thing I'm going to do is there are 8 score lines. I'm going to score all 8. Because this is a thick envelope, it's not having 4 scoring lines, but 8. And what I'm going to do now is, you see the slot over here, I'm going to cut it out. And I'm going to do that with a craft knife and a ruler. It's a little bit of a box instead of just like this. So it will be a little bit easier to close and open it, instead of just making one slit here. Then I'm going to fold all the folds inward. And like with the other envelopes that we made earlier, I'm just going to make some markings underneath the bottom flap until where my glue should. Make sure that this is a perfectly straight fold. Very important. I'm gonna hold it like this and my glue should go up till here. Oh, yeah, there was absolutely no reason to put anything here on these flaps. And then you can put some glue on here. I'm gonna do one by one because I need a bit of time to make sure my folds are neat and straight. This. I'm gonna hold it for a while so it doesn't slip away. So yeah, you can definitely ink the edges before. I'm gonna ink a few edges when I'm ready. Okay, this one's okay. I'm gonna add some glue here. And again, I'm going to take a lot of care, making sure these corners really fit. They are straight. I'm gonna hold it until it's a bit dry. You can definitely, again, print the whole paper on the back to make sure that this isn't white if you don't like that. So I'm gonna ink the edges a little bit more. Like this. It's best to, oh yeah, don't, learn from my mistakes, don't ink edges when you've already assembled the envelope. Very bad idea. But you know, you see how it goes. So this is the envelope, and close it like this. And it can actually hold something this width now. Okay, and the card fits perfectly in here. Now you have a very special gift card with a very nice envelope. You can definitely also glue it inside the front of the cover, the envelope, and then you can open the envelope and take the card out, but then you won't see this. Or you can actually, if you like, put glue on the back and just glue it in here if you like. I also finished one of the moving cards from the Librarian's office kit, and it looks stunning. Look. So for both kits we now have a moving card. We also have an envelope book, and we also have a journal. So I made a small journal and a big envelope book and a nice card here for the Librarian's office kit. And I also made a large journal, a small envelope book, and the moving card for the Mystery Zodiac kit. And now I'm going to show you how I'm going to close these. I'm going to put these aside for a bit. So these are actually like clamps. So you can put a ribbon in here. And when you close it, it will not go anywhere. For example, if you would like to make a choker, a necklace made of ribbon, and it has a little small loop. And I'm actually going to clamp this here and attach a chain on this loop and a lock. By the way, I have these in several sizes. I have these 3 sizes, but this looks a little bit too small for this one. Maybe that's better for the really tiny one here. I will see later. But I'm going to use the large one for the journal here. And I'm first going to measure the center for this. That's here. Make your mark close to the edge because it won't cover a lot. I'm gonna do this exact same on the back side here. And now you can definitely use a hammer to close this, but I'm just going to use some pliers here. You can add a little bit of glue if you're not sure, but these teeth on the edge will definitely make sure it will not go anywhere ever again. So yeah, it has actually all these teeth, and they're now sunken into the cardboard, so that's not going anywhere ever again. I'm gonna do the exact same on the other side. Just make sure it's flush against the side of the cardboard so that it's not crooked and it doesn't have a bit of air in between. There, that's not going anywhere as well. Let me put this aside for a bit. And now I have some chains left here. I think I made these for another project. I don't know what anymore, but I can definitely use them here. And on one side I have placed a jump ring. This is quite large, but why not? You can use smaller jump rings as well. These large ones you can actually handle by hand. See, otherwise you would definitely need these pliers to attach them. Okay, so this is attached. So since this jump ring is so large, I'm going to leave 2 of these chains. So I'm going to cut the 3rd link. There are chains with links that are not soldered, so you can actually bend them, but these are soldered. And I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So this is the jump ring that I took off the end. I'm going to put this through. Make sure it's close enough. Yeah, and I'm going to leave 2 links and I cut the 3rd. And now I have a lobster clasp here. It's a bit tiny, but it'll work. And I also have like these small jump rings here. And I'm going to attach the lobster clasp with a jump ring. Yes, I have everything in brass color. You have them in silver, gold, nickel, what can I say, gunmetal. You have them in really, really cool colors. You can definitely choose what you want. And I'm going to attach the lobster clasp to the back or the front. I will attach it to the front. So I opened the jump ring a little bit with my pliers. I'm going to put it through the last link and also through the lobster clasp. And I'm going to make sure the clasp will face downward. There. When it's ready, I'm going to close this jump ring again. There. And now let's see if I need another jump ring or not. Yeah, now you can close chain like this. Actually, I don't even think we need these 2 because it's quite wide now. And if you have a very bulky journal, that's okay. But I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna just take this off. There. And I'm going to take these chains, these 2 links off of that jump ring. There. And I'm just going to attach the jump ring to the last loop. Maybe that's already enough. You can definitely use a smaller jump ring. It's just, I had these. It's easy to go. Let's see if this works as well. No, it's not going to work perfectly because, oh yeah, it does a trick because it's so large. That's good enough for me. Amazing. And I'm going to add some more decorations to this cover. I have these corners and they came with these stickers. And I'm going to attach them to the corners. They're just a little corner embellishment. They're not really corner covers, but yeah, they actually make it a little bit stronger. So let's see how this works, because I've never done this before.
1 minute later.
These are not sticking at all. This is just, no. This is really not a good idea. I think only a really good glue will do the trick here. So I'm going to attach these with some plain old-fashioned glue. There's metal glue, I'm sure of it, but I don't think there's anything tacky glue can't tackle. Wiping off the edges. I mean, it dries clear, but the less the better. And I'm applying this right now. Let's see how this goes. Keep it for a while. Okay. These seem to stick, but just to be sure, I'm gonna hold it for a while longer. Okay, I'm gonna do the exact same on this corner. Now I'm super glad I only have a tiny hole in the nozzle. For this, that's perfect. Wiping off the edges. And let's stick it to this corner. Hold it for a while. I think these stick. I'm gonna do the exact same. I'm still being careful because they can still move. So I'm carefully going to do the ones on the back. If you're not sure you're doing something like this, I advise to wait until the oh my gosh, until the front is done. There. Okay, look how pretty this is. And this way, with these metal knickknacks, you can embellish it so much more. And even if you've used a paintable tape, you can paint this in a metallic color. That's all possible. So look how beautiful. These are such nice designs here. Look at that. And all signs are featured equally here. Look at this journal. How fabulous is it? Really, really happy with this. And of course, there are tons of embellishments in this kit to embellish these further and further and further and use them for all kinds of crafts. The possibilities are endless.